Elevation Nation, we have on the queen of practically everything, one of our new best friends. She's setting up all of our single friends in the city. So if you're listening, Elevation Nation, and want to get set up, she might even start her own matchmaker business soon. Liv is involved in everything. You probably know exactly who we're talking about. Liv Schreiber. We are so excited to have you on the Elevation Nation podcast with Parker and myself today. To say we've been looking forward to this would be an understatement. I'm not going to lie. You were on my list of people a year ago when we started the podcast as a dream guest to have on, just because of the impact that you're having on young people out there. So we are honored to have you on the show tonight. Liv, thanks for joining us.
Sam, I'm honored. That was the nicest introduction I've ever been given and probably ever will be given. I have to warn my dad at my wedding in the future that he has a competitor.
Don't give him that. I'm sitting there like, do not give him that. He'll just like walk around and talk and tell everyone like, yeah, he gives a good intro. That's why he's my co-host and he does the intros because I suck at the intros. But Liv, it's so nice to meet you. And I can't hear you anymore. I don't know what's going on. Hold on.
Parker, if you ruin my perfect intro, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Uh-oh.
Parker's been having computer trouble. Thanks, Liv. I mean, you are the queen of everything. You're killing it.
I'm definitely not.
I mean, you definitely are doing some amazing things. Parker gets really mad, though. Like, I once let him, while he figures this out, I once let him do the intro, and it was, sorry, Parker, it was, oh, good, he left. It was so bad. So, like, now
really?
I don't let him do it. I'm more of, like, a improv, like, I can kind of, like, just flow with it. Like, I didn't write that down. I just made it up.
That
but, like,
was unbelievable. Is that
thank
true?
you. What, that I didn't write
I was
down?
on your list?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were on my list. But it was like before someone sent me your profile and was like, this girl's doing exactly what you guys are doing. And I checked you out and I was like, you have way too many people. There's no way you'll ever talk to us. So we put you on, like, we have a list. And it was like dream guests eventually. Nice. You're amazing. So, like, I'm so glad we actually got to do this.
Are you recording right now? Is this part of the podcast?
No, we were buying time for you, bro.
Okay. Thank you. So I hate these fucking headphones. Liv, maybe I'll just start throwing them out the window and buying new ones because they're just terrible. All right, let's pick back up. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Now that Parker's back with his technology, we're so excited to have you, Liv, and really get into who you are, your story, but more importantly, I think one of the reasons why we all hit it off so much the first time we met was I think we all have a very similar purpose and mission, not just with our companies, but who we are at our core of wanting to just help people and make the world a better place. And we had on a guest that the episode's coming out next week. We talked a lot about the concept of tikkun olam, which in Hebrew and in the Jewish religion is, repairing the world and making it a better place. And I think that comes physically, with the earth and things like that, but also, and kind of where we all align, is just helping people find their purpose and who they are in the world. So we're excited to get into it, to learn your story. But Liv, we want to start off. I kind of gave you a hell of an intro, as Parker said, but we want to hear it from your own words. So what is your elevator pitch for Elevation Nation?
Oh, wow. That's good, Sam.
Little play on words right there.
Really? Well, I feel elevated in your presence already. I'm Liv Schreiber. I just turned 25 years old, September 1st, which is crazy. And for the first time ever, I really feel like my age matches where I am in life. And I've always felt a little bit too mature or too deep or too much of something for our youth as it was. I run a digital marketing agency. I started it when I was 23. My twin brother is my co-founder. Never expected to be here. Have a following on TikTok and Instagram. I call myself an accidental influencer. I started out in real estate with my phone under a desk, just trying to improve my own mental health, and grew a following from that. So I'm excited and honored to be here with you guys.
And we're so excited to dive into your story, what you're all about. But Liv, before we got into the recording, we were like, all right, we're going to break down this conversation in a structured way. So the way we're going to have this conversation is all centered around the idea that Sam and I believe young adults need the concept of mental fortitude. And mental fortitude to Sam and I is the thing young adults need to conquer the real world. And the way we break it down is in 3 parts: self-awareness, vision, and accountability. So we're going to talk about how you hold yourself accountable, how you build your vision. And first, we're going to start with self-awareness. So, Liv, what word best describes you?
Oh, that's tough. I would say it doesn't describe me, but it's how I start every day. If you want me to start with that.
That's perfect. Yeah.
The word that makes me self-aware is gratitude. Every morning, wake up and you say 3 things you're grateful for, but they have to be either people or like qualities of life, like being able to breathe, being able to walk, like, and you got to actually feel the gratitude. It can't be BS. I've been doing that for probably 4 years now, just waking up and being grateful. And it really seems so cheesy when you hear about it, but when you actually do it and you feel that, it puts everything in perspective. So gratitude's my self-aware word.
I think, first off, it's not cheesy at all, because Elevation Nation, we're almost 100 episodes in. We do all that stuff, Parker and myself. I actually do 3 sentences of gratitude at night in the evening, but I like starting off your day with that. I think that's interesting. I have my gratitude journal like in my nightstand every night before I go to bed. 3 things you're grateful for. And I think one thing that you emphasize, Liv, that I want to re-emphasize for Elevation Nation is you need to feel them, right? And to your point, it sounds silly of I'm so thankful that the sun is up this morning and it's a sunny day out, right? But if you feel that, the rest of your day will all be uphill, right? Like it'll be so much better when you start your day out that way. And I think we had one episode where we were talking about, I don't know what to call them, rituals or shticks or whatever that me and Parker do. And I said, I'm sure all you out there are listening to this and are like, that's crazy. That's BS. Like you're just saying that so people listen to you. And I said, just try it. Try it for a week and see if you like it. Because I think a lot of people hear something so simple and so silly and say, there's no way that can have an impact on my life, but they never try it for that reason. So if you all are skeptical out there and listening to me, Parker, and Liv is not enough, try it for a week and hit us up and let us know what you think. And if it worked, I bet you it probably will.
And if you need a little bit of help, go to Sam. Like DM him, hit him up, and I'm sure he'll want to help you.
Yeah, 100%.
Or Liv.
Yeah, Parker, don't leave Liv out of this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
what about
Liv.
me?
Okay, perfect. So I love that word gratitude. I think that's a great way to live your life. And with that word gratitude, Liv, is there a life event that made you pick that word, that you wanted to focus every single morning? The first thing you do is try to be grateful. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I think as we go through hard times. I had a really easy high school career. And when I got to college, my mental health went all the way down. And I had to teach myself how to bring it up. I never went to a therapist or any professional like I probably should have, but instead I became my own, and I started testing different ways to become my best self. And I'm never averse to trying something new. So I started doing that and just realized that it helped me. But, you know, different things work for different people, right?
What was it, you know, when you made that transition? You know, Sam and I talk about transitions all the time on Elevation Nation podcast, like, you know, middle school to high school to college to the real world, all that type of stuff. Like, what was it about that transition that, like you said, high school was great, but like when you got to college, like what was going on?
It was a lot of things, Parker. It was NJV. You know, I know you guys were in AEPI, and for me, I was in a sorority that wasn't accepting of who I am, and you know, girls are mean, and there was a lot of drama there. I had an ex-boyfriend who was cheating on me, and it was a new climate. It was new people. My grandpa passed away. It was a lot of things, honestly, that came at me all at once. And not to mention, people don't talk about being a freshman in college or a freshman in New York City, they don't talk about how hard it is. All you see are the tailgate pictures and the darting pics. You don't actually see the reality of anything anyone is going through. And that made things even worse, quite frankly, thinking that I was the only one. And that's why I started my social media, because I wanted people and girls to understand that, like, hold on, wait a second, we're all lying. Why are we lying?
It's eerily similar to why Parker and I started Elevation Nation and some of the struggles we went through, because I know when I like that, a freshman in New York, a lot of shit hit me at the same time. Being in a job I didn't like, commuting and getting bodied on the subway every day, you know, having no windows in my room and feeling just like depressed and dark all the time, like getting out of a long relationship, being an adult, having bills to pay, seeing all my friends bawling out on bottle service and not being able to like afford that lifestyle or figure out how to be with them. And like all those things happen at once, right? And it's almost like you need to figure out how to swim. And to everybody, they have a different way to do that. And one of the funniest tweets I actually heard was someone said, like, why do boys, instead of going to therapy, start podcasts instead? And it's like, low key, so true.
Who said that, Sam? Like, who?
I have no idea. I wish I could find that tweet.
Did you just come up with that in your head?
No, I swear I saw it.
I really do.
No, I swear. And it's like, honestly, yeah, I kind of did start this with Parker as therapy, to be able to talk about the problems that I'm going through with my friend and have an excuse to talk to other people and get their advice about it. It's like you slap a microphone in front of you and call it a podcast, and you're able to actually finally like be straight up with someone. So I love that. It resonates again on why I think we both are kind of in this same mission together.
And so what is it for you guys? I mean, we all know that girls are, or tend to be, a little bit more emotive. You guys both have girlfriends. They probably let you know how they feel, and you adapt or adjust, and you probably usually a little bit more hesitant to share, because that's just how societally we've been conditioned, right?
Totally.
So what is it for you guys, hi, welcome to the Liv Schreiber podcast, that made you want to share? Because I think guys don't talk about this stuff.
I feel like, you know, when I think about that type of stuff, like the concept of being a man, right? And like being a man is just holding in, I guess the stereotypical way to be a man is holding in those emotions and showing that you're strong and get through anything. But to be honest with you, Liv, Sam and I grew up in a community and a family where we learned to be emotional and tell people how we feel. And I think something that Sam and I have both, which makes us such good friends, is that growing up and even in college when we met each other, we always felt like we were the old soul in the room. And part of that is being emotional and being able to open up about what you're going through. And I think it's worked pretty well. You know, being vulnerable in the moment is a great way to connect with anybody, whether it's on social media or if I'm in an office meeting or, you know, we're mentoring someone. Being able to be vulnerable, I think that's what's being a man, because then you're able to show your true self. And then on the other end, that person can be their true self back. And that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what's great about doing this podcast too, is that we get to have these deep conversations and share them with the world.
In the spirit of that, I have a question for you, Liv, right? You mentioned that you just turned 25, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
And you finally feel your age. And I think it's kind of funny because, like Parker said, at least my mom's called me a 65-year-old Jewish man since I was like 6. So I'm nowhere close to feeling like that same age. I guess I got a long more ways to go. But how much of vulnerability do you think is nature? You know, you're born with it. Liv's always been mature. She's always been an old soul. And how much of it do you think is nurture, or your environment and events that have happened to you? Because to get vulnerable here, I think some people know, but like my childhood was fantastic, but my family had a lot of health things. My mom had ovarian cancer, then she had breast cancer, then my dad had a heart attack, and my dad's battling cancer right now like a badass, and he's going to kill it, right? Like a lot of those things happen. And So is it a combination of it? Do you think it's more one than the other? What do you think kind of shaped you into the old soul that you are?
That's a great question. And sending good energy to your dad and to your mom. I think that it's two things. Number one, I think people, you're just born, like I always hung out with the older girls. I always just was an old soul. I am. But it's also having amazing parents who foster that. They always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I think we've all been really blessed to have such incredible moms and dads if we're lucky enough. So I think that's what shaped me is knowing that it's okay to feel whatever I want to feel. That's kind of, to me, the root of everything.
That's awesome. I love that. And wow, I can hear myself finally through my headphones through my microphone. Jesus Christ. It only took so long. But I love that. It's just so crazy when you get older and you like look back on how you grew up and like the experiences that you had that make you who you are. And, you know, Sam and I do that a lot because we talk about self-awareness every podcast. I do have one more question, Liv, about self-awareness to you, or maybe two. We'll see. You know, so many times on social media, so many times in our life, we want to display our strengths to other people. It's a way to show what, you know, maybe the value we bring to the world. But how do you view your weaknesses? And how do you help others understand their weaknesses and use their weaknesses maybe to their advantage?
I mean, what do you define as weakness?
It's a good question. I mean, weakness is definitely a relative term, right? Like my weakness may be Sam's strength may be my weakness or whatever, but maybe it's something along the lines of the things that you don't think you're really good at, the things that you oftentimes go away from because you're afraid to approach those things because you don't think you're good enough at it or good at it just inherently. I don't know. It's a good question.
She spun that right back at you, Parker. I love that.
That's good. I love that.
No, I mean, so I think Parker
feet.
probably where you're coming with this question from is, Liv, we just did a podcast on weaknesses, and I think one of the things Parker and I were talking about is a lot of times people say, oh, you got to improve your weaknesses. And I think it goes hand in hand where I think you were going, Parker, is this concept of vulnerability that we've been talking about a bit. And I think sometimes people believe that their weaknesses make them vulnerable. And if other people see those weaknesses, that they will be looked down upon. So I think probably tying it back to being vulnerable, how are you able to share your vulnerability so confidently when you know that, you know, maybe it's something I'm struggling with or hardships that I've gone through, and be so confident in sharing that with other people?
Good question. I think number one, it's about being humble, and my weakness, or when I am misbehaving or not seeing things clearly or not communicating effectively. I work with my brother every day. So, you know, we don't have the circle back and the pleases and thank yous. We speak to each other as it is, and sometimes it's a little rough. And when I do something wrong, I know within 2 seconds that I've been an idiot, and sometimes there are some not nice words thrown around. So I'm very self-aware because I work with my twin. And I've noticed that usually my weaknesses come when I'm not being humble, or I'm being in some way egotistical, or I think I know the answer, or I think I'm the best, or I think I'm this, or I think I'm that. And I think that ego is our biggest weakness as like a human species. I think ego is what makes you treat your girlfriends poorly. Ego is what makes you feel jealousy and act out on it. Ego is what makes you mess up on contracts and mess up on proposals and lose clients. And I think that, to answer your question, my secret in sharing my weaknesses is being humble and understanding that we're all human, and we all really are way more simple than we make it seem. And if you're able to recognize that you're not the best and you have so much to learn, and you're nobody, it's way easier to communicate with people because you have so much more to learn from every single stranger that you meet because you don't know it all.
And it's a great way to go after your goals and your vision, right, for your life. And that brings us to the next section of the conversation, which is vision. I mean, like you said it perfectly. Like, you humble yourself. You understand that you're never going to be the best because there's just always another person better. But you still want to go after your vision because, you know, you have the right to dream and go after those things. And Sam and I both believe that with mental fortitude, you know, self-awareness is the thing that is the foundation for you to build your vision. And if you can build your vision based upon knowing who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, I think you're on the right track. So I guess to start this section of the conversation, Liv, what activities bring you joy? What makes you fulfilled every single day?
This is a total new conversation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking something when you were asking that.
We got a lot of questions. We got to, you know.
We'll maneuver.
Yeah.
My favorite activities, I like trying everything. I like, going off the humble thing, like being humble and not being egotistical makes you want to try new things and learn new things because you literally have nothing to impress anyone on. You have nothing to hold yourself accountable to, so you might as well try something new. So I love exploring different parts of New York City. I live in the West Village. I love taking my neighbors' dogs for walks when I can. I love playing tennis. I am a big skier. I'm taking vocal lessons because I've always wanted to sing. Good luck to my building when that happens, when I start trying to sing. But I just have fun trying new things.
I think that's kind of funny because that's one thing that I've been highlighting as I've been doing some self-reflection as I just hit 26, right after you actually live on the 5th. Exactly. And doing some self-reflection. And this is why I love Elevation Nation and kind of like where we're headed with the podcast is I'm 26, but it's still this awkward time. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm getting better at my job. I think I know who I am, but it's kind of changing. I have no real idea, and it's always shifting. And so I think I had a day off from work the other day, and I lit a candle. I poured a glass of bourbon. I put on some thinking music, and I sat there and I tried to write out my perfect day, like line by line, half hour by half hour, what my perfect day is. Yeah, and it was an awesome exercise, but so daunting. Like, I'm sure people think that, and they're like, oh, I know what I love to do. Like, really? Like, have you broken out your perfect ideal day by 30-minute increments?
It's impossible, dude.
Parker tried it. I
tried it. Like, dude, like, are you talking about Monday? Are you talking about Friday, Saturday, or just your perfect day? Because I can guarantee you, like,
it's hard. I know.
Every day's different, man.
I hear you. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up quickly, Liv, to tie it back to what you just said of diverse experiences, that was the only common theme I could find throughout my perfect day. It wasn't like Sam's perfect day is all about physical activity, or Sam's perfect day is in the culinary world, or Sam's perfect day is mentoring other people. It was like I needed to have diversity in the activities that I wanted to do in my perfect day because I think, you know, some people are just wired. I don't know if it's ADD and that I get bored or what, but like I want to try a lot of different things. Like, life in the world is so cool. There's so many things I don't know, so many places I haven't seen, so many people I haven't met, right? Like, a perfect day is when I can try all of those and try to satisfy each of those buckets in my life.
And you know what? Let me tell you something, Sam. When I was a broker and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I'm sure if someone's listening here, they are frustrated because they're trying to figure out what their perfect day is, what their perfect job is, right? For me, the answer to that was actually very similar to the exercise you did. I had to figure out what made me really happy and what made me jealous about other people being really happy and what they were doing, because jealousy holds a lot of answers for us. And then I had to figure out how to make money doing what made me happy. So
how'd you do that? Were you writing it down? Did you talk to someone? Did you run a mile every morning thinking, like, what was it?
I talk to the people who are closest to me about what they envisioned for me, what they thought I was good at.
Interesting.
And then I paid attention to who I was following on social media, why I followed them, why they were cool it girls, what made them it girls to me, right? And then I was able to think about the things I like to do during the day, what I daydream about. And now I would say that at this point in my life, I don't know what I'm going to do in 10 years. I don't think anyone has it figured out. No one knows. But today I was walking around and I actually made a story about how I am living my perfect day every day.
It's amazing.
I literally made a story. Like, you guys can go see it. And I was talking to everyone about how, like, you're able to do that every day if you're able to figure out what it is and then make sure that you incorporate it. And whether that means scheduling it in with a Google Calendar invite to yourself, or like planning some sort of event with your buddy to meet up to go work out because you don't want to miss it in your day. I think everyone has the ability to make sure that every day is great, but that's their responsibility.
That's where you need a little bit of mental fortitude, if I'm going to plug it right there. I mean, it's about, you literally walked us through how you went about that. And you literally were going to people, asking them what they thought of you. Then you did it for yourself. That's self-awareness right there. You're understanding who you are. And then you went out and you built your vision around that. I think that's like amazing, the way you just broke that down for everyone. Like, even that moment today when you probably stood back and you're like, damn, like, you're writing that post. You're thinking about, this is what I visioned for myself at 25. Right? Like, maybe it wasn't, maybe it is. But like right now you're in that moment where it's like, damn, like, I'm doing it. It's amazing. But it may not be your vision in a year. For a year. It may not be. And what's really interesting about your vision is it evolves over time.
Right. And everyone has to stop stressing themselves out so much, especially to the guys listening to this podcast. Like, I got to say, I think guys have it harder than girls. I'm just being honest. Like, I think it's really easy being a girl in New York City. You get a lot of things for free. I get a free salad every day. Walk around. People are so nice to you all the time just because you're a girl, literally. I got to say it how it is. Obviously, there are a lot of things that, you know, girls struggle with as well in the world, but and women, and things that are anti-women. But for guys, I think they stress themselves out so much because they're known as like the breadwinners, and that's, I remember watching my twin brother go through what he thought he wanted, which is like working in finance because he knew he needed to make money, because he knew he wanted to get that life that we grew up with, that he aspires to have. And you know, it's really stressful for you guys. But I recommended to him to come join me and start this company together, because you don't need to have it all figured out for the next 50 years. We're not our parents' generation. Things are shifting so quickly that you can build a business in 5 years, sell it, and start something else. You're not stuck. You're not. Of course. You don't have to work at EY for the next 10 years if you don't want to. You can jump at any time. And how lucky are we? You know, so it's about understanding what's good for you in the moment. Success, like, there's a quote. Sorry if I'm ranting.
No, it's great.
There's a quote I really like, and it's success is an ode. It's due. The rent is due every day. And like after this, like it's 6:43, but like I gotta get to work because like I have to make my money for the day, and I've been on photo shoots all day, and like I owe the day all I got. And so if you could just look at every day and understand that it's a blank slate, and you got to put in your fucking work. How could things not work out if you're giving it everything you got?
It has
and
to.
I need to highlight one thing on that, Liv, because I thought that was a beautiful rant, if you want to call it a rant. But I think a lot of people listening out there, Elevation Nation, you might be, you know, in college, in midterms, applying to jobs, trying to find internships, stuck in a job you don't like, unemployed, living in your parents' basement. Everyone figures it out at their own time frame. And Parker and I bring on people who we think, one, have gone through hardships and struggled, and two, have made it through and figured it out. But everyone is on their own time frame, myself
We're
included.
Going through it right now. I mean,
exactly. I don't have it figured out. It's
Come
okay.
on, Sam. You think you got it figured out? Because I surely don't.
No one has it figured out.
No one does. Exactly. And I think, a lot of the times, sometimes, we hear or see these people on social media or on these podcasts saying that they've figured it out. We all were at different points along that spectrum 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, right? And we're all trying to figure this thing out together. But as you paint that vision, that ideal day for yourself, that doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It shouldn't happen tomorrow, and it won't happen tomorrow. But you can slowly work your way towards that by holding yourself accountable to that vision that you've painted for yourself. It's a lot easier to sit back, relax, and say, that's not going to happen to me. I'm not Liv Schreiber. I'm not Sam Panitch. I'm not Parker Yablon. Like, that's just not going to happen to me. It's a lot easier to take that cop out. But what I challenge everybody to do is actually take some time, be introspective, figure out who you are, figure out the vision of your ideal day, what you want in life, and find a way to hold yourself accountable to it.
Liv, to that point, I got another question for you, because we haven't talked enough about Brand Caffeine and what your vision was for Brand Caffeine when you quit your job, your full-time job, I guess, to do that full-time with your brother. So what is Brand Caffeine? What's your vision for it? We haven't talked about it enough.
Right. Thank you. Sam, first of all, I just want to say that was an exceptional rant. Not rant, whatever you want to call it. And, part of that, I just want to go off that really quickly, is you have to understand that you create a mission for yourself, and then you have to abolish everything in your life that doesn't align with where you want to be. So that means you have to cut out toxic friends. That means you have to break up with the guy if he's not serving you well. That means you have to, like I do the Post-it note calendar thing where I'm in charge of every single day, and you have to be your own babysitter along the way so you don't lose track of where you want to go, because everyone has those really motivated moments on Sunday night, and then Monday morning you don't want to do shit, and you have to remind yourself. You have to have that Tony Robbins YouTube thing that you always listen to every morning. You have to be your own guide to get where you want to be. And that, to answer your question, Parker, is how I started Brand Caffeine, because I started doing all these things that were elevating me while I was working for a jewelry designer, and I launched her best-selling collection. And no one taught me how to do any of this, by the way. I didn't learn this in college. I graduated in 2.5 years. I didn't pay attention to anything. I have no idea what they taught me at Wisconsin. I don't even remember. I couldn't tell you 3 things I learned. I literally can't. Aside from maybe how to take a shot without a chaser. But what I will tell you is, when you see yourself starting to build other people's dreams and you're a certain type of person, it can be a little frustrating. And I use that frustration as fuel to start Brand Caffeine, where I was able to understand that if I could take the strategy I used being employed by one company for X amount, well, hey, I come from a small family business. I know tons of businesses that need the same exact best-selling product, just in their own version. So instead of getting one paycheck, why not get multiple for doing the same thing for different people? I'm ADD. I love doing different things every day. So kind of just went for it.
So what is it about Brand Caffeine, though? Because I know it's more than just money. What is it that gets you up every morning? And I guess hold you accountable. What is it that, like you said, we're going to finish this podcast, it's going to be 7 o'clock, and then you're like, yo, I got to go back to work. What is it that gets you back to work, but you're passionate about it still?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, if there are any girls watching this and you just heard Parker say, it's got to be more than money. Honestly, Parker, I love making money. And you don't hear girls talk about that ever. I love it. I love being able to afford my life and pay my phone bill and buy a big TV. I love being able to take an Uber at night, and I know what it's like to not be able to afford to do certain things or pay for my health insurance or pay for whatever I want to pay for. So number one, the money 100% is my number one factor and motivating thing in my life. I have to pay the people who work with me. They rely on me. I'm not just waking up for just waking up for myself. I'm waking up. I gotta be able to afford my team.
Yeah.
So like that gets me out of bed.
That's true.
And then, I want to be able to live a certain life. I got to work for it. The second thing is I love helping people. I'm obsessed with fashion, and I'm obsessed with digital marketing. I think that the future of fashion is all tech. ByteDance, who's the owner of TikTok, they just bought into an international shopping platform, which I'm freaking out over. Basically, I predict the future of fashion, we can come back to this in a year, is going to resemble something along the lines of TikTok and influencers selling product for brands on their own niche following streams and making percentage from huge brands and becoming their own shopping channels. I'm such a nerd and I'm so excited. And I'm also terrified because this means that all of our product, because ByteDance is Chinese-based, we're going to become so heavily reliant on China more than ever before because they're going to be Amazon's competitors. There are only like two big competitors in the shipping and overconsumption world, right? There aren't many competitors out there. So I think we're going to be completely reliant on China. I think it's going to be crazy because we can't even get chips in our cars right now. Anyway.
We're Casamigos at the bar, but that comes from Mexico. Sorry. It's true. I literally was at a bar. I was in Denver over the weekend, and we tried to get Casamigos all weekend. Just, sip on whatever. No, out of stock. Mexico, out of Casamigos. It's crazy. Obviously, we're not talking. Man.
Supply chains. Okay, I need to highlight this because Parker's working on video. Hopefully we'll have video coming up. But Liv's face when she was talking about predicting the future of fashion, right? Like, I suck at fashion. All my friends make fun of me. I'm up in my game, I will say. Not gonna lie, I'm up in my game. But it's not a passion of mine. I love food, I love like culinary, I love cooking. That's like my art form. For you, it's fashion. But how you lit up when you're talking about that is incredible. And I think for people listening, find what makes you light up like Liv just did. Because it doesn't have to be an art form or fashion or food or podcasting or whatever. It could be something so simple and so small. But as soon as you're able to find that thing that like gives you those butterflies in your stomach, makes your heart rate rush and your mind go 1,000 different directions, like that's your body telling you something that like you found a passion, right? And like I think that was just a beautiful like actual physical example of you finding that vision and that passion for yourself. So that was awesome. We didn't plan that, I promise. That was natural.
Thanks.
Liv, I got another deep question for you.
Yes.
We've been talking a lot about the amazing things that you're doing. Where you've learned a lot about yourself, the struggles that you've gone through, and how you're making Brand Caffeine like the next big thing, right? And how you're doubling down on yourself. I'm curious though, like, what do you fear right now? Is there anything?
I mean, we didn't talk about like the reality of my day-to-day. There are so many frustrating moments that I experience day to day. First of all, like, yes, I just lit up 100%, but that doesn't mean clients like their content every day. That doesn't mean we don't have to do 10 reshoots to promote a product. We had 2 plus size models today. I had a girl trialing and one of my content creators here getting paid, and the 2 models just didn't show up. You know, stuff goes wrong every day. We have 10 meetings with a potential client. They're going to be huge. They're going to be amazing. And they pull out. They don't answer. Boxes get shipped to me every day, and sometimes they get lost, and the client's upset, and there's nothing you could do. So I just want to give me 1 second. The organizer's here.
Let's get organized, baby.
It's perfect for accountability, Sam. We got the organizer to hold us accountable, you know, to stay organized.
I'm just finishing the conversation for like 5 minutes, but let me just really quick.
Take your time, Liv. Just go set her up.
Okay, thank you. So I just need your help because I run into the marketing agency. Okay, clothing sent to me all the time. Okay. And it's a disaster. It's a disaster. None of the blue things on the floor are things you have to touch because that's just our client that we're working with. But it's like, dude, it's an explosion of clothing. Oh my god. And shoot, yeah. Oh, and I have 3 closets. This is 1. Oh. This is 2. This is new arrival. So everything in here I have to shoot and promote for brands, and it's pretty organized. Okay. And then this is the 3rd. Guys, you're probably listening.
I wish I could see this so badly. Like, you're talking about 3 closets, and I hear gasping. That's all I want to see is how bad this really is.
I just picture my apartment when I'm gone and my girlfriend's here alone.
Figure this out.
Just so many clothes on the ground, Sam, if you want me to be completely honest.
Dude, I'm like such a neat freak. You know my place is like spotless.
Same with me, dude. My place is spotless too, but like girls.
Is JJ messy?
I've trained her in some capacity.
Jessica, you hear that?
Oh, she knows. Like I came back on last night or 2 nights ago, like late, and I got back and it was like clean, and I was like, yes. I woke up next morning. She's like, I cleaned for you. I was like, I know. I'm like, you're learning.
Dude, like Sammy's finally figured out how to deal with like my OCD neat freakingness. Like before I even asked her, like, what did she do the other day? She like spit her toothpaste in the sink and didn't rinse it, and I literally just like looked at her and she's like, sorry, and like rinsed it.
Oh man, dude, just wait till you move in with a girl. It's just like you really learn. It's crazy. And it's not that she's messy or like this.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Sorry to change the subject, but while we're sitting here, I called shift yesterday because I was like freaking out about going to this bachelor party if you guys were going to be skiing the whole time. Like, I don't want to be by myself for 2 days like I was in France. So he said like we might go. I was thinking about not coming, but he said like we might go snowmobiling one day. Maybe the day you guys ski, I might just like chill at the lodge, like get a massage or something instead. But I booked my return flight.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Yeah, I booked all my flights for that trip.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be great.
Send me a return flight.
Welcome back.
Ski?
We're going to Aspen.
For a bachelor party.
When?
February.
I'm going.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing.
You can take my spot. I don't know how to ski.
Have you been to Aspen?
I've been skiing since I was 3 years old.
Oh, wow.
Fuck.
So you're a big skier.
Why does everyone know how to ski except for me? My mom didn't like
you're
the
from
cold,
the Midwest.
so we never did
like,
it.
how do you not know how to ski?
There's no mountains in the Midwest, bro. It's just
It's cold as shit there. You know, like you can go to Canada. You know.
No, I never went to Canada to ski.
Someone
I'm from
just texted
Chicago, dude.
Someone just texted, hi, it's Chad. What's up, Liv?
Okay, can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
I think it's the salad guy that your salad lady tried to set you up with today.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, it's not?
That's good.
It was a guess.
Oh man, that was a good guess.
Thank you.
Was a good guess. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm
Do you respond to Rand? How does like, not to get on a sidetrack, but like being a girl, I feel like it's so scary. Like boys just text you randomly. You don't know, remember if you gave him your number, if someone's setting you up. It's just like so sketchy.
I have a stalker who just got out of jail.
Wait. What?
You
No
could have
fucking way.
more on that. Yeah, I had a.
Holy.
That's like part of what propelled me into like a dark hole that I had.
Oh
to,
my
like,
God,
to
Liv.
be happy. I probably should have told you guys that.
Was he in jail because of something that happened between you two?
He wait. I'm an organizer here for podcast listeners now. Way to freak her out. No, everything's good.
I don't even know if this is making it in the podcast. This is just
I don't think
friends
this is going to make it in
making sure
the
you're
podcast.
safe and okay. Yeah. Parker's about to come to West Village and like go stand outside your apartment.
No, I'm great. I think it was a blessing in disguise. Basically, this guy wouldn't stop staring at me from 6 to 12 every night in the library. And everyone thought I was crazy. And like, I was one of the only girls from New Jersey in my sorority. So they all were like, Jersey girl thinks she's the shit. Like, whatever. Didn't believe me. And he started following me on the street. And I got a restraining order. The police didn't file it because they didn't believe me. Which...
What?
Yeah, you heard that right. And I ended up switching libraries and like wearing hats and glasses and baggy clothing, hiding myself. A year later, my friend goes, "Turn on the TV, Liv." I'm like, "I don't have a TV. What?" And she showed me her screen, and he was on the news for trying to strangle and kill a girl. They raided his apartment, found a notebook. It was a kill list, and guess who was in?
Shut the fuck up! Stop.
Yep.
You're
No
freaking me
fucking
fuck
way.
out.
No
Me.
way. That's like fucking horror movie shit that you don't even. What?
So he went to jail only for 3 years. He was supposed to go for like 40, but his family paid and had got
He was at Wisconsin. This was a kid at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
His name's Alec Cook, and you can look him up. He's I have like detectives and people I talk to, so I know he's not allowed in New York. But it taught me a lot. It taught me to only listen to happy music. It taught me how to really see through people and their intentions.
I'm like
really
sweating
grateful
right now.
for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful for the experience, and
My hands are like, holy shit, this is nuts.
yeah.
I'm glad you're like totally like fine and nothing ever like came of that, because like,
Yeah, but
that's
you know
so
what?
scary.
You know what? I'm such a friendly person. I'm so grateful that I listened to my gut, because everyone told me I was wrong. And that talk about mental
Fortitude.
fortitude, I mean, when you go through something like that, you got to learn how to build yourself back up mentally. So yeah.
Jeez, Liv. I'm glad you're okay. God. You said like boys have it harder. I don't like. Girls have to go. I'm like scared to have a daughter. I'm not gonna lie. This is not in the podcast. I think we're cutting this whole thing out. I don't want to be
Dude,
too
I'd be
personal
pumped
for
to
you,
have a
but
daughter.
like,
I don't know what you're talking
No.
about.
That's
sure?
public knowledge. Literally, like I made a TikTok.
Okay.
And I actually, by the way, I really like telling that story. I haven't told the story until this. I haven't even ever talked about it on a podcast before. But the reason I decided to open up about it back in August to everyone is because sharing that, number one, you never know what someone's going through. And like, you'd be so surprised. I didn't start out the podcast with that. I didn't tell you about that right away.
Yeah.
You'd think, like, oh, it's this like blonde girl. She has it. She's so perfect, whatever. You
Queen.
wouldn't know that.
Starts
No.
with Queen.
But like, first of all, you don't know what people are going through, right? And second of all, like, you got to watch out. You got to pay attention to yourself and how you feel around people, because you're always right. You're always right.
And if you're wrong, you're going to learn that you're wrong or right.
Trust
and then
your
you're
gut.
gonna
To be right about being wrong. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. No, that's
Vibes don't lie.
Liv, I couldn't agree with you more.
can we put that on a shirt? Vibes don't lie. I like that.
I mean, obviously, from my like experience, I've never had anything remotely close to that. But I think about the last like 20 months with like the pandemic and so many people working from home and the struggles that they've gone through. I've lost 2 family members, and I've been working from my desk behind a computer since then, and like, people on the other end of those meetings have no idea what's going on in my life unless I tell them. And like, when I take a step back and acknowledge, like, damn, like I could be going through something, but like, what about everyone else in that meeting or that person I'm connecting with across the country? Like, I have no idea what they're going through. So it's just showing up and being a nice person and just being accepting of who they are. And like, sometimes you forget that like, you're not the only person, right? There's so many people going through shit, and everyone's going through shit.
all the time. But you know what? If you're not going through issues or something, you're not living. Like, I think
It's inevitable.
Right.
It's inevitable.
I'm sorry for your loss. You just don't know. And also, like, why is it so crazy, surprising to people when they meet a nice person? Like, have you ever noticed how, like, you offer to do something nice for someone and they're
It's like, oh, you're so nice.
they're like, wow.
Oh,
Like, why
just being myself.
Why is that an anomaly, you know?
Yeah. It's a good
It is
point.
weird, right? Like, that was actually one of the questions I was going to parlay that into. Do we think society's moving in the right direction in terms of people being nicer, people opening up more, men not having these stereotypes and being able to be introspective? Or do we think we're going backwards? I'm just curious what you think.
I think we're getting more divisive. I think we're totally going backwards. I think it's all firing the wrong way. I think that it's not bringing us together.
What do you think fuels that? Sam and I both think that this thing has pretty powerful, is pretty powerful and fuels a little bit of that, if not a lot of it.
Listen, you know, it's hard. I actually take it back.
Uh-oh. Are we going backwards or forwards? I don't know where we're going anymore.
Sometimes I don't know where I'm going either. And that's the motto, right? That's the lesson of the whole podcast. But I always say, and anyone who's heard me on a podcast knows, I always say that you got to choose who you follow, like you choose who you're going to get coffee with. And if you're not going to get coffee with them the next day, unfollow them because they're not bringing any value to you. So, I mean, I think it's about who you're surrounding yourself with. But I also feel as though, I mean, I don't know, TikTok sometimes brings people so close together because you realize there are little funny things that we all do that we never talk about. And they make you feel closer to society because you realize that everyone's kind of the same. At the same time, sometimes the news makes it feel like we're all against each other. So pick your news source, I guess.
You make such a good point there, like with TikTok and all that. I just saw Bill Burr at Red Rocks. Comedian. One man on stage with one microphone, looking out into 11,000 people. And his job is to connect with each and every one of them. And everyone's from different backgrounds, right?
Right.
And the fact that he can tell a story that is so ridiculously funny and people find connection to that, but we're all so different. It's kind of nice in the sense. It's like, it's a little like, wow, we are all kind of going through the same shit in some capacity too.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So, Liv, I recognize it's late. You have a company to run, and I want to be respectful of your time that you've so graciously given us. So I want to follow up with our final questions that we ask everybody that comes on the Elevation Nation podcast. We're going to mix it up because I didn't like one of the questions we asked, so I'm going rogue. Sorry, Parker. We're going to do quick 3 rapid-fire questions, and then Parker can end us with our favorite question. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Chocolate? Okay, got it. Favorite book of all time is chocolate. That's what you're going to say?
No.
Okay. What is your favorite book of all
done.
time?
Well
Liv?
done, Sam.
Go ahead.
Favorite book of all time. This isn't my favorite one, but it's the only one I can think of right now.
Okay.
Right now I'm listening to Kim Perrell's audiobook, but I really like Wayne Dyer, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. I have all my books right here. I really like The Pencils of Promise guy, Adam Braun, his books. I really like Sell It Like Sirhan. Sorry, I'm giving you more than one.
No, go ahead.
Also, Girls Who Read. I'm single at Liv Schreiber. Just kidding. Not really.
She's not kidding, everyone. She's literally not kidding.
And then I also really... No, I'm not that desperate. I'm kind of happy on my own. But
So she is kidding. Half kidding.
I'm happy.
Sorry.
I'm 1/3 kidding. And then I also really like Once We Were Brothers. And it's a story about I'm German Jewish. I'm 100% Jewish, but my last name is German. Story about two brothers. One's German, one's Jewish, and it's a beautiful, beautiful story.
That's crazy. I don't think anyone's ever come on and not mention a book I've read. I don't think I've read any of those books that you rattled off, and I read a fair amount of books, and so does Parker.
Yeah.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Wrap it with you. What are your favorite?
My favorite book of all time is The Last Lecture.
Never read it.
By Randy Pausch.
Incredible.
It started as a speech that he gave. Thank you, Liv. Write it down. We'll send you a copy. At Carnegie Mellon, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and his last lecture, it's on YouTube. You can watch it. It like blew up when we were like 8 or 9, I think. And he turned the last lecture that he gave. It was a lecture for his children on all the life lessons that he wanted to give them that he wouldn't be able to give them. So he turned it into a book, and like, it's incredible. Parker loves it too, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one. My favorite is when Brett.
I like.
No, that one's good.
God,
that
I
one's
cried
good.
like a baby.
When Breath Becomes Air.
Oh, I cried in that one too. Damn
I've
it.
actually never sat down in my own thoughts looking at something else reading and literally bawled my eyes out. It was so sad, but it was such a compelling story. It's about this neurosurgeon who is the top of his class at Stanford, Oxford, like the best neurosurgeon in the country. And he understands the brain pretty much better than anybody else. And he's diagnosed with cancer at like 33 years old or 34, whatever it is. And it's about his struggle, and it's about what he went through. And like one piece of it is like he's going into these scans of people like telling him about like his brain and whatnot. And he's just sitting there knowing that he's smarter than them and knowing what they're saying is not necessarily like the truth in some capacity, but he can't do much else but listen. It's fucking crazy.
Whoa.
It's wild. Yeah, it's intense. But it's a great one. You'll learn a lot, and you'll definitely be moved.
Oh, I wrote both down. Sorry, I'm going to ask you something, even though it's not my podcast, but I guess I'm trying to.
This is your podcast just as much as it's ours. Go ahead.
Honored. Thank you. What are your favorite movies?
Okay. That's such a hard decision. I really like Lion.
It's so hard. Ooh,
Have
Lion's
you seen Lion?
good. Oh my god.
Live.
Ooh,
I watch TV. I never watch TV.
Have you seen Slumdog Millionaire?
I have. Yeah.
So it's the same director, right, Sam, or same actor? I forget. Same actor, but it is awesome.
True story. True story. I don't want to spoil it. It's like wild. Just watch it. It's great.
For me, without a doubt, Forrest Gump. I mean, like, it's so cliche. It's so like, oh, it's like one of the top 10 whatever, but it's such a good movie. It's just a great story about life and just like pursuing anything that comes your way. It's awesome. I love that one.
So nice.
What about you?
I love Remember the Titans.
Okay. You know what's crazy? I've never seen that up until Friday night, which is fucking crazy. And my brothers were shitting on me for like, you've never seen Remember the Time? I'm like, no, I haven't. But I downloaded it on Disney Plus, so I'm going to watch it. What a great movie.
Can't you see we're brothers?
What'd you say?
That's what he says. Can't you see brothers?
Did you even watch it, Parker?
Half of it.
Oh,
fell asleep.
God.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't fall asleep.
Bro.
I was on an airplane. I was watching, what's it called? Squid Games, which is also incredible.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. He tried for 10 years.
I read that.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Listen, perseverance. Takes a long time to get to your dreams for most people.
I'm not going to say the MF word, mental fortitude. There you go.
Motherfucker. That's what he is.
All right. So we did movie, which was a different one. What about a song that gets you pumped up? Right after you write your 3 gratitude affirmations in the morning, Liv's making her cup of coffee, she's dancing around in her PJs. What are you listening to start the day?
Dancing around in my PJs.
Is that just me? Am I the only one that does that in the morning?
I did. My PJs are only underwear, dude. Like, pretty much naked.
Parker.
All
right.
I don't know my PJs. No, I was going to say the same thing. I am an old soul, so I like signed, sealed, delivered. But then I also like, it's a whole lot of money. I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega. So it really depends what I'm feeling.
Get one.
And those are those vocal lessons, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. All right, last rapid fire, Liv.
Yeah.
Who's the person that you call when you need something?
My
when you
grandpa.
talk? Grandpa. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
Every time. For everything.
FaceTime or phone call?
Well, my mom and my grandpa. I was really close with my other grandpa as well. And my cousin just named her son after him, baby.
Aww.
And I learned so much from my grandpas. We're very, very close. He's 85.
That's special.
Wow.
His name is Lyle. Shout out Grandpa Lyle.
Shout out Grandpa Lyle. We love it. All right. So that was our new section of rapid fire, rapid-ish fire. Oh, Liv's got her hand up. Yes, Liv.
Thank you. I would like to just say to anyone listening to the podcast right now, get close with your grandparents. They're walking history books. If you're going through anything, talk to your grandparents. I'm telling you, they have so much wisdom.
Oh my God.
So much knowledge. And they give so much perspective. I love it. And by the way, they want to hear from you. So
I was about to say, they really want to hear from you. Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story about my grandpa, real quick. So he's a diehard Yankees fan, such a Yankees fan. I call him like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. And for some reason, YouTube TV wasn't playing the game, and I told him that, and he was watching it, and he was so happy to narrate the game for me for like 3 innings, like literally like pitch is thrown, it's a strike. Pitch is thrown, like he hit it. Like, I'm not kidding. I looked at my girlfriend. I'm like, I literally teared a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, like this was amazing for him to just like talk to his grandson about baseball. And like, it was just such an awesome, cool moment. You know what I mean? It was so
I love
cool.
that. And by the way, Parker, what you don't know is he is still talking about it.
Oh my gosh. I just like think about like the impact like that. It was like all time moment. Like something so small too, right? Like it's so small. All time.
Yeah. And the juicier the better with the grandpas, by the way. Like my grandpa knows everything about like every guy, everything. Like he lives for it. They live for their high school days. So just ask them about like high school, their first boyfriend, girlfriend, their youth. It's like the best.
I feel like every grandpa was like in the war, like in the army in some capacity.
Yes,
like, yeah, they were. I mean, it was wartime. So like, all right, Liv, enough with the rapid fire, Sam. We got one last question. Liv,
I'm just so red. I think it's so cute. I want to talk to my grandmas now. I'm going to give them a call after this.
Oh. So Liv, we ask everyone who comes on the Elevation Nation podcast this one question.
Yes, Parker.
We talked about mental fortitude a little bit. We structured the conversation around mental fortitude. Sam and I have been talking about and essentially studying mental fortitude for the last 20 months. We truly believe mental fortitude can be broken down to self-awareness, vision, and accountability. And if you have all three, you pretty much can conquer the world. You can do what you want and truly elevate yourself. But Liv, that's our definition. That's what we think mental fortitude's all about. We are curious, what does mental fortitude mean to you?
Quite frankly, I just learned what mental fortitude was like 30 seconds ago.
Amazing.
So
we can break it down if even further.
I really need to think about it more, honestly.
Okay. Give it a second. No need to rush it.
Well, I do speak Spanish, and fortitude sounds a lot like fuerte, which is strong, right, in Spanish. So if we're going to really break it down, I'm getting the thumbs up. I would say that in order to be mentally strong, it's just like playing a sport. You got to do it every day. And like to all the guys out there listening to this, just think of it as like your daily soccer practice. Like just as you work your body out, you got to work your mind out. And that means not being complacent in just going to work every day, doing the same shit every day, listening to the same music, talking to the same people, because you're going to be weak if you do that, right? If you do the same exercise every day, you're not working out other parts of your body. So I think mental fortitude to me just means taking advantage of life and being curious and never being satisfied or fully knowing all that there is, because there's so much out there that we get to be excited about every day, that we get to try. And as long as you push yourself every single day and make a commitment to that, then that's mental fortitude.
Well, for someone that didn't prep that, I would say that was pretty damn good.
Well, she never heard the term before, so
I know.
I mean, that was
fantastic.
Well done. I mean, like, your Spanish teacher would have been so proud of you, breaking down, okay, the phonics, what's it gonna be, like all that.
Buenas noches, que descanses, que sueñes con los anhelitos.
There we go. I love it. Okay, so Liv.
You could have said anything there, by the way, and I have no idea.
Parker, we studied abroad in Spain.
She spoke too fast. She spoke too fast. That was always my problem.
I love it. So, Liv, seriously, first off, I want to thank you for giving us the time. We know how busy you are, and this is awesome. But like beyond, because I kind of feel like, again, with the podcast, you get to just talk to friends, be introspective, get deep, and like, again, not looking at our phones, talking about life and just living in the moment. But going beyond that and the benefit that I think all three of us have received from this conversation, I think you've helped a lot of people with your stories, with your lessons, and with what you're doing as a human being, with Ben as well and Brand Caffeine, which, by the way, Ben, we'd love to have you on the show at some point if you're down. Hopefully you're listening. And so thank you. I think, you helped a lot of people, and, everyone's going through some hard times as a young adult, and it's not talked about enough. Everyone sees the beautiful glitz and glamour and the picture and has the ideal life that they want and is frustrated internally in their rooms thinking, why am I not there yet? But I think by you being introspective and opening up, you showed us and everybody else in Elevation Nation that everyone's on their own timelines. Everyone's going through life and has their own struggles. And I think that's what's beautiful about getting introspective in Elevation Nation. So thank you.
Oh, that was so nice. Thank you, Sam. And thank you, Parker, for having me. I'm honored, and thank you for your time. And I would just say one last thing to everyone is like, just keep your head up, because you're doing great. And I know you may not feel like you're doing great, but someone's proud of you out there. I'm proud of you. We're proud of you. And things always work out. So just remember that.
Liv, this was so much fun. I mean, like, such a good time. It's like we've known each other for so long. I mean, it seems like. And what's so amazing, just like listening, hearing, and doing a little research too about you, like, you inspire so many people. And that's like what's incredible. Like, you're there, you're sitting in your office / bedroom, apartment, whatever it is, where you go out, you're in the street taking videos of yourself or just strolling along, but you're inspiring people, young, old, and you're making a difference in the world in a very unique and different way. And I think that's what Elevation Nation's all about, and that's what Mental Fortitude's all about, and you got it. So just keep on doing it. Keep on inspiring. So love this conversation, and thanks for joining us. So, Sammy?
Thank you.
Elevation Nation, with that, till next week. Peace.
Peace.